Okay, the 2024 IIHF World Championships has thrown up a little bit of a nail-biter between Latvia and France. It's finished 3-2 to Latvia in overtime. The French led for the majority of the game. The third period, the game comes to life. The game is then tied with minutes left, and then with less than 2 seconds on the clock in overtime, Latvia steal the winner. But for lengthy periods, I thought this was going to be a low-scoring game, and the French were going to grind out a 1-0 win. The first period, one of the Latvian players is ejected for game misconduct. There's a spear where he's used his stick to spear the French opponent. So there's a 5-minute power play to the French. Da Costa gets the power play goal on 16 minutes and 2 seconds, so towards the end of the first period. Bit of a smash and grab by the French in that first period. The Latvians were the slightly better side. There was a lot of ill feeling and ill temper in this game between the two teams. These two sides really did not like each other by the end. But overall, it was a very scrappy affair. It was a scrappy affair. You could see the intent was there from both sides. The French really, bad defeat in the first game, struggling to score. Belmar is obviously their best player. And Da Costa, they weren't having great games up until that point, but Da Costa redeems himself with the power play goal. Merzlikins has pulled off a series of good saves though. Second period was a scrappy affair, ill-tempered and scrappy. There was some big hits going in, there was some scrums after the whistle, there was some chirping back and forth, but it remained 1-0. I was thinking the Latvians just couldn't get that opportunity, though. It was like they were snake bit in front of goal. The French, however, as time went on, was slowly getting pushed further and further back, giving up more opportunities to the Latvians. The Latvians were taking control of the game apart from scoring at this point. But the French are holding on. They're giving away some sloppy errors in their defensive zone. Latvia, though, snatching at shots, not quite taking those second opportunities, those rebounds, and were rushing their shots. But overall, it was a bit of a scrappy game. Both sides guilty of turnovers in dangerous positions, misplaced passes, but it wasn't with the same intensity as the Slovakia game. It wasn't played in the same intensity. This was played with a bit more tension to it. The French needed to win. The Latvians, obviously bronze medalists last year. I think I was a little bit underwhelmed with the Latvians today, considering what they did last year. The French are grinding it out. They're frustrating the Latvians. It was very noticeable. The Latvians were getting slowly more and more frustrated. They've got to score next. But that's the end of the second. A third period, however, very, very quickly at the beginning of the third period, the game turns on its head and it comes to life. Abols gets his goal in 42 minutes and 59 seconds. And then the power play goal, again, an ejection. There's an elbow to a head. There's a late hit. It's a headshot to a Latvian player. French player gets ejected. Again, another game misconduct, another 5-minute penalty. That leads to Robert Burkhardt's goal in 45 minutes and 14 seconds. It's another power play goal. And the momentum has finally swung. Latvia have finally broken down this stubborn French defence, and the game has come to life. And then Belmar pops up. The French aren't fully out of it. The Latvians can't kill the game off. It's very open now. There's a lot of ill feeling now in the game. It's getting very tense. There's a lot of penalty minutes in this game. For World Championship standards, there's a lot of penalty minutes in this game. But Belmar gets the equaliser on 56 minutes and 50 seconds. He just pops up and equalises. Merzlikins has had a very, very good game, mind. Very, very good game. And considering that the Columbus Blue Jackets season in the NHL has been horrendous, Elvis Merzlikins has had a very, very good game, all things considered, with how his season has gone and his numbers have gone in the NHL. But the third period comes to life. So France have blown their lead. Latvia have taken the lead. Latvia have blown their lead. They can't see the game out for the last 15 or so minutes. Belmar, finally man of the hour, pops up. He's had a frustrating game. He's had some good moments. He's had some bad moments. He's been a bit frustrated. He's not had calls go his way, but he pops in a very important goal. It takes it to overtime, which means France get their first point of the championships, which means Latvia only get 2 points for the win, not 3, because World Championship scoring is different to regular league scoring in regards to points for wins, overtime and overtime losses. And there's a power play in the overtime. So it's a 4-on-3 power play to the Latvians, and when the French kill off the power play, it ends up being a 4-on-4 overtime. And Dragovins, with just over 1 second remaining, pops up, dekes past the goalie and puts it in the back of the net. And a very, very tense finish. The Latvians dominated that overtime, although they did cough up a couple of breakaway opportunities. The French couldn't take advantage. They are struggling to score in this tournament so far. Very noticeable they are having scoring issues. But Dragovins, the Latvian captain, pops up with just less than 2 seconds, about 1.6 seconds left on the clock, to score the winner in overtime, right at the death. And we're talking right at the death, otherwise this could have been a draw, which is very, very rare. And Latvia take home the spoils. In the third period onwards, the last 25 minutes were brilliant. I would say the first 40 minutes were a bit indifferent, a bit scrappy, but you could see as soon as Latvia got their first and then their second goal, the game came to life. It was a slow burner, this one. A slow burner. I think the French were very, very brave, I suppose, in a way, but they are struggling offensively. The Latvians weren't at their best today. That was plain obvious. They weren't at their best, but maybe this win, that third period performance and that overtime goal, can that spark their tournament? Can they medal again in the World Championships? France, I have concerns about the French staying in the top level of the World Championships this season. They've had a rough start. Latvia, that's two very, very close games where overtime winners. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts on the game below. I wouldn't say it was as entertaining as the Slovakia Kazakhstan game. I felt that was a far more entertaining, free-flowing game. We have seen some dirty play so far in this tournament as well. And I know IIHF rules, international rules, are different to various league rules, including the NHL, in regards to certain things. But there were times where I thought this game could boil over. There were times I thought this game could boil over, and some more dirty hits and potentially scrums and potentially brawls could take place. Didn't quite happen. But there we go. So I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below. And I'll have some more content for you guys very, very soon.